Welcome everybody to a new show and tell from me. My name is Peter, and today we're going to be having a look at a real classic. This is the legendary Omega Seamaster Professional 300-meter diver. Also well known from James Bond movies, and well, I think most of you have probably seen or heard of this watch at some point or another. Now, the Seamaster line was first introduced in 1957. That was a watch that does not resemble this watch in any way. It was a watch without a diver bezel, much smaller, but it was water resistant and it was a Seamaster. Now, the modern Seamaster we know today, with the reference number 2531-80, was introduced in 1993, and this is one of them. Now, this watch is from 2001. Anyway, most modern Seamasters are nowadays, the ones that are made, lately, are mostly coaxial caliber 2500 or chronograph caliber 1164. Now, Omega also make a Seamaster GTM model, and they make the Pro Prof. So there are actually quite a few Seamasters out there. This is probably, apart from a model that looks identical to this but has a quartz module, this is one of the least expensive in the model line. It's also the most iconic. Okay. This Seamaster Professional uses an Omega caliber 1120. It's based on the ETA 2892-A2, which has 23 joules. The original ETA movement only had 21 joules, but Omega modified them so that they had 23. They also had some very nice engravings on the rotor and so on. They made it their own, but it is essentially an ETA. The movement has a power reserve of 44 hours and ticks at approximately 28,800 beats an hour. It has a quick date function. The watch is water resistant to 300 meters or 1,000 feet. It is the luminous material is called superluminova, and the watch is 39.3 millimeters wide and has a height of about 10 millimeters. It is fitted with a helium escape valve, which you can see over there. It weighs about 158 grams. And what else can I say? This model, as most models, are fitted with skeleton hands. Okay, so that's the specs aside. When we're talking about the Omega Seamaster Professional 300 meters, you have to understand that this is a watch that's been around for some time now. It is in the inexpensive end of luxury watches, which means that there are quite a few of them out there. It is and was a very popular watch, still is, and in my humble opinion, I would say it is now what one would call an icon in watches. And I've heard people say, about these watches, they're no good, everybody has them, and so on and so forth, which is absolute rubbish. Also, so what if everybody has them? So what if there are many of them around? They're awesome watches, and it's a design icon, and it's a watch icon in itself. I don't care if my neighbour has one. I don't care if my father-in-law has one, which he accidentally does, because this watch is his. What I care about is that it's a brilliant watch for the money. The newer Seamasters, the ones with the coaxial drive, now have, they've moved this, the part where it says Seamaster Professional has been moved on top here, and just under the Omega, and where it says Professional is written in red. So that gives it away that this is not a new model. But apart from that, the design is pretty much, they now come with a ceramic bezel, whereas this is not. But apart from that, it's just still stylish, this watch. It's in no way, you're not going to be walking down the street and somebody goes, "Ooh, look at that old watch." Nobody's going to do that. It's just a beautiful watch in itself. And as I said before, I think this is what one would call a very good entry-level luxury watch. Now, if you are a person who has grown-up children like I do, well, they're not grown up. I have 4 boys, whereas the oldest is 19 and 18, and then I have one who's 12. And if I were to want to be very, 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 very nice to the 12-year-old and give him a watch that a watch he could be proud of, I wouldn't go out and get him a Rolex, GTM Master or something like that. This one would probably be what I'd start out with. It's affordable, but still a watch that is, a luxury brand. It will teach him the feel of a luxury watch. And if he proves that he can take care of a watch like this, then one would be able to give him a more expensive watch in the years to come. With that being said, I'm not saying that this is a watch for children who have to learn how to wear Rolexes. That's not what I meant. I just meant it's a good entry-level luxury watch. I have had a few of these. I've also had the Planet Ocean and the chronograph and so on. And although I've had them, I still enjoy this very much, and I wouldn't mind owning one of these again. Now, this one here is, as I said before, my father-in-law's watch, and it's a beautiful watch. These are, as I said before, these are style icons. And then you can say, well, it looks like a lot of other watches on the market nowadays. Ah, yes, it may very well do, but that's because they have copied this one, and not the other way around, As with Rolex and some of the other high-end watches, Omega sort of set the standards back in the day. Rolex set the standards and of design have been copied and plagiated and so on. And Omega also set some pretty awesome standards with their Seamasters, and have also the design has been copied. So if you think this watch looks like a lot of other cheap watches out there, well, you might be right, but that's because they have copied this and not the other way around. That's just important to keep that fact understood. I've always liked this. Some people don't. I like the links on these. I think they're awesome. One thing that I must say, though, is I've always, with the watches I've had a little problem with the clasp. Especially the dive clasp seems to open and has a will of its own. I've also owned, I had a Seamaster Professional chronograph that tended to, even though when one pulled on it, one could not pull it open, when one wore it and flexed your wrist, it would somehow jump up. And, it's very, very strange. And I've seen this on a couple of Omegas. If that's the only con I have with this watch, might be with the way that they've chosen to build this up, and that's only because I've had, I think, 3 Omegas in which I've had some problems with these. Now you might be listening to this and had your own Omegas and said, "Oh, I've never had one problem with it," and that's great. More power to you. I can only talk out from I can only speak for my own experiences with this watch. Apart from that, there's not pros and cons. I have a lot of pros, but not very many cons, to be quite honest. Another con, maybe, if I have to be put on my no glasses, might be that the older models, the non-ceramic bezel ones, tend to scratch the bezel quite easily, and they are rather costly to get new bezels for. I think that I've used up my cons for this watch at the moment. I only have pros left. Very well built, beautiful, iconic, a pleasure to handle. Very nice weight, very nice feel to it. All in all, a very beautiful watch. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say thank you for watching and listening to my rambles about the Omega Seamaster Professional 300 meter. And yeah, those were Peter's thoughts about this watch, and I hope you'll catch me again next time. If you enjoy listening to me or enjoy my watch show and tells, then please tune in next time and like and subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.